You go watch a creepy TikTok video. Oh, yo, yes. I was like, oh, you good at it. Ooh, me. Huh? Yeah, close. Huh? I hated that when it first came out. I thought you would really see him eating the snake. Bruh, I'm talking about the old. It was like snake eater. So I go get a snake, first eat it. It just said you ate a snake at the bottom. I'm like, man, I went and rented this game for that. I think we could rent games back then. But I rent that shit. For me, yeah, I'm fun. Crazy. That was me. I play that. I play that. No, I said I will.
The monsters of Dragon's Dogma 2 behave organically in the world around them, and will even react to players by using their wits against you.
Oh, it's gonna be hard.
Next, I would like to show you the mage in action. Mages
I always
excel
like
at
the
long-range
mage.
magical attacks,
So the
as
Warriors.
well as healing and support spells that bolster your party with various enchantments to give allies an advantage in battle. The more
Always pick Williams. Yeah, but I be watching Game Boy.
The PlayStation 5
Shout out
launched
to
3
them.
years ago and has already cemented itself as one of the best consoles ever. It's delivered some unforgettable gaming experiences with stunning visuals and incredible stories that remain within us. Narrowing down the very best is tough, but join us as we rank the top 30 best PS5 games. WWE 2K23. It's easy to
I
forget the
got that.
slump that the WWE 2K series saw, especially with how much WWE 2K20 was rightfully panned, but that's
Ain't
why
that the one where you
subsequent
had to pick
entries like
two story
2K23
modes,
are
the
even
lock
more
and the other
impressive.
shit?
It builds on the polish and combat systems in WWE
I like the lock
2K22
though.
while improving the visuals further and adding new features like War Games, a new showcase, and updates to existing modes. Plus, the Royal Rumble now supports up to 8 players
Nah, Jake
online.
Paul still on there.
Trine
I mean
5,
Logan.
A Clockwork Conspiracy.
I ain't
The
played that
Trine
shit.
series has always been known for its puzzle platforming shenanigans. We don't talk about
I
Trine
hate
3,
puzzles.
as each hero has unique ways to bypass obstacles. Trine 5, A Clockwork Conspiracy, is arguably the best yet, with 20 levels and 4-player online co-op, which results in a chaotic
Yeah, I
good
was it
time.
look fun.
Mortal Kombat 1. There are several reasons to dislike Mortal Kombat 1, the microtransactions, the Switch version, the initial launch of Invasions, etc. However, at its core, this is still one of the most fun entries
that's
in
like
the
some money
series,
grab
from its
game.
story mode, which escalated into unexpected insanity by the end, or the new cameo fighters, which allow for all kinds of combos. It looks and feels good to play with solid netcode, so here's hoping it's polished further down the line. Lies of P. A Bloodborne remaster, remake, sequel may never happen, but NeoWiz's Lies of P is still a strong alternative. Its Belle Epoque era evokes the doomed atmosphere of Yharnam, while delivering excellent combat and customization to go with strong enemy design and bosses. Couple that with some gorgeous visuals and a well-tuned difficulty, and it's one of the better Souls-likes released in recent years.
Like Bloodborne.
Like a Dragon
Bloodborne, the
Ishin.
hardest game ever.
Like a Dragon Ishin is more than another fun action-adventure, as it's also an involving story
You
set
play
in the
Yakuza?
Bakumatsu era, as Sakamoto Ryoma seeks revenge for the
I
death
got
of his
'em
master. With solid
But all the
combat, a
trailers
plethora
look
of
good,
activities, and numerous sub-stories, even if they're not the series' best, Like a Dragon Ishin proves to be the best and really only way to experience this PS3 classic. Lost Judgment.
I
For
played
those
that.
seeking a more contemporary Like a Dragon experience,
I got
Lost
that.
Judgment is the ticket. It sees private detective
No, I ain't beat
Takayuki
it. I got it,
Yagami
though.
returning to investigate a new case, which takes him
Like,
to Seiryo
I want-
High School
he like
in
a cop.
Izizaki, Ijinsho, Yokohama.
And you
In
gotta
addition
do
to
like
new
detective
combat
work,
styles
and
like
he fight,
Snake
too.
and Boxer, the sequel offered multiple new side activities, from rhythm minigames and robot competitions to classic titles like Sonic the Fighters and Fighting Vipers. Remnant 2. Revamped world generation, incredible enemies that show little to no mercy,
That
fun
look good
weapons,
right
tons
there.
of build possibilities, thanks to the new archetype system, a stunning aesthetic. There's so much to rave about in Remnant 2.
What's co-op? You
Its
and my brother
secrets
was
are
talking
fun
about.
to discover, and re-rolling worlds to find something completely unexpected is one of the best feelings. Of course, having some of the best Souls-like combat is also a nice bonus. Dead Island 2. We all thought it was dead, and not in a fun way,
Yeah,
but
Dead
Dead
Island.
Island 2 finally clawed its way out
The
of
first
development
one's
hell
good.
to release this year. Lo and behold, it's a fun experience
good.
as you tear through post-apocalyptic Los Angeles, ripping,
This
tearing,
one
burning, and
looks better
destroying
'cause the
zombies
graphics.
left and right. It's
It's
not
still like you
trying
play
to
the
be
same,
too
though.
complex, though the skill deck offers some nice customization, nor is
Like
the
the
story
graphics
too
look good as
overwhelming,
hell,
despite some interesting new directions. Dead Island 2 is just a fun time as you invent new ways to slay out. Kena Bridge of Spirits.
I played that.
Ember Labs
Couldn't
action-adventure
get into it.
title mixes stunning presentation with an emotional story.
I should,
Fortunately,
like,
the gameplay is
replay
also
it.
pretty good, with fun exploration and combat, as Kena uses the rock to assist her against enemies when she's not helping other spirits pass on. It doesn't have the longest playtime, but Kena's journey will stay with you after it's over.
Shout out to them.
Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals. While its choices aren't as impactful as the first game, Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals is a strong sequel in the supernatural walk-and-talk horror series. The atmosphere and tone, not to mention the many
I can't see
conversations
why
that
this-
Riley will experience, are still endearing and evolve her character well.
Pass in the Memphis.
Hosting everyone for the holidays was a bad plan.
Especially when your Wi-Fi only works
Hey.
close to the router. Better plan is switching to Verizon Home Internet.
Street Fighter 6.
Good.
Capcom's
I
legendary
wanna play
fighting
that
game
too.
franchise was overdue for a renaissance, and Street Fighter VI more
Yeah,
than
bro.
delivers. With gorgeous visuals courtesy of RE Engine and the incredibly fun drive system, the sequel offered some of the most strategic and hyped fights yet. It also introduces Battle Hub, a virtual arcade for players to meet and fight, and World Tour, a fun story-focused mode to familiarize yourself with the mechanics. Street Fighter VI is the complete package and a long overdue comeback for the series. Hogwarts Legacy. While Hogwarts Legacy isn't rewriting the book on open world titles, much less adding to the Wizarding World lore in meaningful ways, it's still a surprisingly good time. The
I
spell-focused
love that,
combat
man.
is fun and
When I was playing
fast-paced, while the world offers several activities, from the dark arts battle to collecting beasts for the Vivarium to immerse yourself in. The Last of Us Part 1. The
Beat
Last
it.
of Us Part 1 may be deemed unnecessary, with the remaster doing a competent job of upgrading the PS3 experience. However, the attention to detail and environments, revamped
just got
AI,
better
and
graphics.
incredible facial animations only
Same
add
story,
to
though.
one of the best gaming experiences. Unnecessary or not, it's still The Last of Us.
It just looks
and
like
that alone
amazing.
marks it above and
It's
beyond most of the
replayable.
competition.
And they kind of make some stuff
Resident
play like
Evil
Last of
Village.
Us 2.
If Resident Evil 7 Biohazard dragged the series back into the
My bad, I
slow-paced
lied.
survival
They did
horror that
change,
defined
like,
it, then
the
Resident
controls
Evil
to Last of
Village
Us
goes in
2.
the other direction. It's a roller coaster ride with frantic battles, impressive gunplay, and some grotesque enemies to overcome. Ethan's search for his daughter is fraught with twists and turns, but it also offers some of the most memorable
What game is
sequences
that
in
right
the
there?
genre, like the battle with Heisenberg and House Benevento.
Oh, I ain't played Village yet.
Astro's Playroom. Bundled free with the PS5, Astro's Playroom is our first taste
you
of what the
played that, right?
DualSense is capable of. However, the 3D platformer offers way
man.
more,
See,
paying
I got
homage
the
to Sony's
PlayStation when it
franchises
first
through the
came out.
years while featuring some
So,
stellar gameplay. As
that
a
game right
celebration
there is
of the
like a
brand and a fun way to
introduction
showcase
to
its
show you
future,
how the
it's well
controller
worth
is
trying,
and shit
and
like that.
free in case you missed it. Marvel's Spider-Man
Bro, you know
Miles
you can
Morales.
blow into the controller?
Insomniac Games didn't have to immediately follow the
To make
stellar
it do
Marvel
shit?
Spider-Man on PS4 with a sequel, so it didn't. Instead, it offered a shorter, standalone experience focused on Miles Morales, who also dons the mantle of Spider-Man and struggles to balance it with his life. The story is tightly paced, the new characters are well thought out, and Miles' venom
Cameron, they
powers
let
offer a
Cameron
fun new
slide.
addition to the combat. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart gave new meaning to thinking with portals, with the iconic duo on a dimension-hopping tour in the latest 3D platformer. From bigger worlds and new guns to a presentation that showcased what the PS5 could offer in terms of ray
Hey, that
tracing
game right there
and fast
fire.
loading times.
I passed
Rift
that.
Apart is a stunning effort. Armored Core 6,
it's
Fires of
good
Rubicon.
lit, pause.
From
that
Software's
shit
legendary
fire, though.
mech combat series
The graphics
finally
beautiful
received its long
that Ratchet
overdue
Clank.
resurrection with Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. While the combat is tense and fast-paced, it offers extensive customization, allowing players to build a multi-legged AC that hovers continuously or a battle tank that cruises around delivering death. The involving characters, branching routes, and incredible boss fights are just the icing on the dystopian cake. Final
I'll play
Fantasy XVI.
I want to play that.
Final
too.
Fantasy XVI is
Hey,
just an
hey.
incredible experience. The main
Hey.
pillars of the genre, the setting, and combat
Yeah,
are all
yeah,
simply
bro.
excellent, and there's a
Well,
decent
hey,
amount of side
hey.
content to keep you busy as well. The icon battles alone
Huh?
are worth the price of admission. Demon
I hear you.
Souls. How
That's
do
around.
you remake not just
Hey,
one of the
you
best
remember that
Souls-likes of
song
all
you was
time,
like,
but also the title that started it all, as Bluepoint Games showcased
Have you
with
could-
the Demon
Yeah.
Souls
Think of the
remake
artist?
quite easily. Even with gorgeous
who
overhauled
is?
visuals, it retains the
Lenny
distinct
Williams.
combat, difficulty, and mechanics
Lenny
that
who?
set the game apart from the other titles,
Lenny
proving that the gameplay holds up over time.
Sound familiar. I'm gonna go that shit
Returnal.
up. I've been wanting to hear that shit. all
Live,
day.
Die, and Repeat holds new meaning in
that's
Housemarque's roguelike action third-person shooter. However, Returnal
Alright.
makes it work, meshing story
Alright.
revelations and some genuinely unsettling environments with an interesting exploration loop and stellar
Yo,
combat.
dead right
It's not
quick
for
with the
everyone,
Lenny
especially when the
Williams.
bullet
Shout out
hells
Lenny
start
Williams.
rolling, but it's still a standout exclusive for the PS5.
What's that right there? Returnal.
Dead Space. It seemed impossible
Yeah, I
that
got
the franchise
that too.
could ever return, but Motive Studios pulled it off while retaining everything that made the survival horror incredible.
Well, that shit
However,
look way
along with
better,
revamped visuals, it went even further with the Dead Space remake, introducing new mechanics like the peeling system and revamped Zero-G gameplay. While the overall exploration and storytelling are slightly different from the original, Dead Space is still a worthwhile experience and one of 2023's scariest games. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty.
I ain't playing
Several
Phantom
years ago,
Liberty.
the thought of Cyberpunk
But
2077
Cyberpunk's
redeeming
straight,
itself seemed almost impossible, given the backlash at release. 3 years later, it's now an
Cyberpunk's
incredible
straight.
Cyberpunk FPS RPG with fun
I
builds,
think you'll
excellent
pass.
combat, and involving activities like police chases and vehicular combat. It's also received one of the best expansions of all time in Phantom Liberty, introducing even more unforgettable characters like Solomon Reed and Songbird in an awesome new storyline. Gran Turismo 7. As the first mainline title in the series since
Y'all already
2013's
know
Gran
y'all don't want
Turismo
no
6,
smoke in that.
GT7 has evolved incredibly since its release.
Boy,
It
guys,
launched
get
with
on
over
that.
420 cars and has only received more through monthly updates, while various modes like GT Cafe
That's how I
offered a new
drive right there.
appreciation for car
In the
culture,
vehicle.
considering all of the events, tracks, and escapes included, which have also expanded since launch, and the jaw-dropping visuals. Gran Turismo 7 is a must-play racing sim. Alan Wake 2.
Man, he fucked it all up.
It's hard to dive into what makes Alan Wake 2 great without offering spoilers. You could say it's a stellar survival horror that builds on Remedy's excellent presentation and attention to detail honed over the years. You could also say it has an incredible layered story full of mystery and nuance. However, make no mistake with how long it's waited to finally continue the story, Remedy knocked it out of the park with Alan Wake 2. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. With a map roughly twice as large as the previous game, stunning visuals, and new combat moves, suits, and activities, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is already a huge step up. However, the story seals the deal, offering a compelling tale of Peter Parker and Miles Morales as they confront new challenges like Kraven, the Hunter, and the symbiote, especially when it takes over Peter's life. It's an emotional roller coaster filled with some of Insomniac's best set pieces that you must play. Horizon Forbidden West plus Burning Shores.
Ooh.
Aloy's adventures have become the stuff of legend, with Forbidden West offering an incredibly detailed world to explore, stellar combat to dive into, and some of the best visuals the genre has ever seen. Meanwhile, Burning Shores expanded on it further with one of the most epic boss fights ever seen on the PS5. In terms of open-world adventures, Horizon Forbidden West and Burning Shores make for a potent combo.
The game, though.
God of War Ragnarok. The end of the Norse saga saw Kratos and Atreus involved in the cataclysmic Ragnarok, with incredible boss fights, intricate combat mechanics, and one of the best villains in the series. However, Sony's Santa Monica's sequel also expanded on the adventuring aspect, with larger realms, more involving side quests, and additional challenges, topped by an impressive post-game. It may not have the conclusion everyone expected, but God of War Ragnarok is still a hallmark first-party title. Baldur's Gate 3.
Told you.
Larian Studios faced almost overwhelming expectations with Baldur's Gate 3. To say it succeeded is an understatement, especially on PS5. Nearly everything about Baldur's Gate 3, from the side quests to the world design, combat, and presentation, is incredible. Even with some performance issues in Act 3, it's a must-play title that redefines what a role-playing game can be. Elden Ring. There's not much more that could be said about Elden Ring at this point, despite being less than 2 years since its release. From Software's take on an open-world Souls-like has provided some unforgettable moments, with unexpected discoveries and almost endless secrets still being discovered. Whether it's your favorite From Software title or not, there's no denying that Elden Ring is simply one of the best games ever made. And that brings us to the end of the video. A quick request: we upload new videos every single day, and if you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing. It really helps us out. Also, don't forget to enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon so that you can receive daily video updates. Thanks for watching.
Been a pleasure. Bro, the video over. Are you still alive? Live, y'all know how it goes, man. For sure.